Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to show number 228 of the Junkies Podcast. Today's guest is Travis Caldwell, a U.S. Marine, welder, and now sales manager for Outlaw Leather and Blue Demon. In this episode, we discuss Travis's journey from being overseas in the Marines to becoming a welder and how he carved out a path into getting into welding sales. We also talk about a great fundraiser to help veterans suffering from PTSD and how you all can help. We'll get right into it right after a quick word from the supporters of the show. Today's episode of the Junkies Podcast is brought to you by Rockmount Research and Alloys. Rockmount continues to make it easier for you to get their amazing products in your hands to help save you time and money by getting the job done right the first time, every time. Rockmount has new distributors so you can order all your rods and wires online and get them delivered right to your door. U.S. customers can now order through MSC Direct or Zorro.com and get free shipping right to your door. And for my friends north of the border, you can pick up all your rods and wires right through Canada Welding Supply. On another note, Rockmount is growing, and right now, they're looking for reps all across the country. If you're interested in building a career helping maintenance welders solve problems with the best materials around, then reach out to @Rockmount Welding on Instagram or via their website contact form. Get first-rate technical training and sell the Rolls-Royce of welding rods with Rockmount Research and Alloys. For more information on this great opportunity, you can send an email to my buddy Mark Wilson, wilsonm@rockmountwelding.com. Tell him Jason from the Junkies sent you. We're also brought to you by Lincoln Electric, and right now, they want to save you some money. Now's a great time to pick up a new welding hood and save a few bucks in the process. You all got to check out the new and improved Viking 3350. The 3350 is the top-of-the-line welding helmet series with the ultimate blend of optics, comfort, and versatility. The Viking 3350 boasts 4C lens technology, which broadens the color range and hues and can be seen in both light and dark states. This eliminates imperfection and color saturation to create the clearest view of the base metal, arc, and weld puddle. It has perfect optical clarity. This rating is determined by measuring blurriness, distortion, shade consistency, and angle uniformity of the auto-darkening welding lens. It also has an extra-large viewing area. The 3350 has 12.5 square inches of auto-darkening lens that provides a large field of view to increase versatility and operator control. Right now, you can save 20% on your purchase of a 3350 or any other Lincoln welding hood, PPE, hand tools, or consumables when you go to store.lincolnelectric.com and use ArcJunkies20 in the discount box at checkout. You can also save 10% on welding machines, fume extractors, and rod ovens when you use ArcJunkies10 at checkout. I'll even put a link in the show notes so you can access this site a little bit easier. Lincoln Electric, the welding experts. We're also brought to you by Fronius USA. Fronius is the innovation leader in arc welding. Their attention to arc precision and energy management has created some of the best arc welders and welding processes on the market. Is TIG welding your passion or profession? Then the new iWave should be on your wish list. From its targeted heat input and multi-process capability to over 70% reduction in ignition delay, the iWave is exactly what you need for better control and flexibility. Or maybe you work with robotic welding. The new Rebecca CTC is a slick, automated contact tip changer that saves lots of downtime. Pair it with your Fronius torch cleaner to really streamline your robotic welding cell. For more information on this product, check out Fronius.com. Fronius USA is excited to share its current promotion with listeners of the Junkies Podcast. Right now through July 15th, when you order a TransSteel 2200 Compact, you get a second MIG torch setup absolutely free. It's a $600 value. The TransSteel 2200 is a compact 3-in-1 solution for MIG, TIG, and stick welding. The 2200 is easy to use, reliable, and has that intelligent Fronius arc. Set up your free torch for a quick changeover or keep it as a spare. The choice is yours. Contact your local Fronius dealer for more details. This promotion is only valid in the USA. Listeners near the Houston area are invited to Fronius USA's 20th anniversary celebration on June 16th. Attendees can win an AccuPocket, watch live welding demos, and grab some food from the Waffle Bus. Check out the link in the show notes to RSVP for this event or for other events around the country. Attending is free, but registration is required. All right, you know what time it is. Fire up your machine, drop your hood, and turn me up 5.
You're listening to the Junkies Podcast, helping you make every weld better than your last with each episode. And now your host, Jason Becker.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining me today is Travis Caldwell, sales manager of Outlaw Leather and Blue Demon. Travis, what's going on, brother?
Oh, dude, another day in beautiful Houston, Texas right now. It's nice and sunny, about 97 degrees, 100% humidity. Enjoying life.
Well, if it doesn't work out with sales, you could always get into being a meteorologist, apparently.
You know, I could do that, but I was kind of hoping to follow my dad's footsteps whenever he was in his early 30s of being a DJ.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
DJ Caldwell on the ones and twos?
Absolutely.
So do you live in Houston, or you're right outside Houston, right?
So I live in Harris County. That's the same county that Houston resides in, but actually I'm in Tomball. So, I mean, if you wanted to tag my IP address, you could swap me right now if you really wanted to.
Oh, damn. Okay. So, hey, are you, I would imagine you're going to be at the AWS Welding Summit there at the Woodlands, August 24th through the 26th.
Absolutely. That's a $7 Uber for me. Let's go.
Yeah, this should be a good time. They're doing 2 days worth of classes. I know Outlaw's coming out there. I think Ocean Corp's coming out there. They're going to do some demos. They're going to have the Careers in Welding trailer out there. It's going to be like, 3 full days of just all kinds of welding stuff going on.
And don't y'all have like an Arcs and Ale event going on?
Yeah, we're doing an Arcs and Ale. I think that's the Thursday evening event. I know Scott Robbie's going to be out there. Ray Ripple's going to be out there. It should be pretty fun, but I mean, you're right there, dude. You got to be at this event.
Oh, no, I will be. Trust me. I plan on it.
Yeah. No, it's pretty cool. Like Houston is kind of like my second home. I always try to find an excuse to get out there. And as a matter of fact, that's where you and I met, was at the Outlaw event there in Houston, Texas, when they set up their new studio.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And for the record, I mean, Houston is probably the best city in America. Now, I'm a native Tennessean myself.
You couldn't tell from the accent.
Oh, no, not at all. But, since some great Tennesseans made the great state of Texas, it's pretty phenomenal down here.
It's a nice spot, man. I enjoy every time I go out there. I've never had a bad time in Texas. Really, even driving through it, man. It takes like 2 full days to drive through that state.
Well, I mean, if you're slow, so from Orange, Texas, which is right there on the border of Louisiana, to El Paso, you can do that drive in 11 hours.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you're hauling ass. Well, I had a 16-foot trailer with me, so I wasn't winning any speed competitions.
Yeah, it's kind of hard that way. It is kind of hard.
Yeah, I found out that if I stayed 65 and under, I wouldn't blow out my tires as often.
I feel like if you just did the speed limit of 80 here in Texas,
what I tried doing that, and it didn't happen.
If you figure out the time it takes you to change a tire, I think you might be better off going the speed limit instead of 65. Like, I'm going to do 3 tire changes in Texas. Hey, I'm going to go 80. It'll average out. It'll be good.
I could have done that, but we got screwed because we ended up getting a flat in Mobile, Alabama. And on Saturday afternoon, they roll up the sidewalks, man. That place shuts down till Monday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And we searched around for, like, right at closing time. We found 2 tires that would actually match the lug pattern that was on this trailer, because it was a 6 lug, and the spare that was packed for us was a 5 lug. And I guess the damage that we incurred on the rim, they couldn't even beat that back into shape. We ended up at a West Marine. It was like the 6th stop. And we finally ended up with 2 spares. And I was like, I'm not taking any more chances. And by the time we got into just out of Louisiana, the other tire was it was damn near about to pop. You could see the air in it.
Well, that's what you get for buying these secondhand tires. People telling you that they're new, man, for your trailer. I don't know.
And I don't think they sell secondhand tires at West Marine. So, Travis, you're a fellow Devil Dog. Thank you for your service, brother.
I was a hootenanny, sir. Thank you for yours.
I imagine you went through Parris Island, right?
Of course, I'm a real Marine.
That's where they make Marines at. So, what was your MOS there? I
was a radio operator. So went through Parris Island, then went through MCT. Then they shot me out to 29 Palms to learn how to speak on a radio well.
Okay. Now, there's no, contrary to popular belief, there's not one palm at 29 Palms. Is that correct?
There was back in 1988, but some drunk Marine ran into it and took it down. So
that sounds about right.
Yeah, since then there hasn't been one.
Yeah, I spent, I want to say, probably 3 months out there at 29 Palms.
It's beautiful country out there.
It is, if you're not running around with sappy plates and Kevlars and shit.
That's true. That's true. And if you don't like water and you don't like humidity and you love 115-degree days, 29 Palms spot to be.
Oh, they sent us out there during November, so it was actually pretty nice. It was nice and cool. It was we were doing combat training for right before we went to Iraq.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
we got to go play in the mountains. You ever done that? I'm up, they see me, I'm down through a field of rocks.
Yes.
Oh, dude, we had people getting jacked up.
Yeah. So after radio operator school, they gave us a dream list of, your what bases you want to be stationed at. So of course, my hillbilly ass, I was like, give me Hawaii, Okinawa, Japan, Camp Pendleton. Let's see the world. And they said, surprise, you're getting stationed here with 2-7 in 29 Palms, and your NCOs are outside the door right now for you. I said, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
So unless I was deployed or training down in Camp Pendleton up in Bridgeport, California, I was in 29 Palms, loving it. So whenever we would get bored, they'd be like, okay, good. We don't have anything scheduled for this week. We're just going to go out to the field and train. Yeah. We love it. Let's go.
Especially if it's raining.
Oh, yeah. Especially if it's raining.
If it ain't raining, we ain't training.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's true. But in the summertime months in 29 Palms, there's one cloud that will hover around the training area. It'll never come to you to give you shade or rain, but you can always see it. It's probably about a mile wide, and you're just like, please come to me. It'll get, maybe a mile or two away, and they'll say, no, not today. Not today.
It's like a mirage.
Yeah, it is. It is a true mirage.
Run to the shadow.
Yeah.
You can never make it.
No, never.
So where'd you go after 29 stumps?
As in after the Marine Corps, or?
No, like while you were in, you deployed and shit?
Yeah. So like I was saying, I did radar operator school in 29 Palms. Then I was got assigned to 2-7, 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines in 29 Palms. So from that point, I got shot to Echo Company in 2-7, and from that point, did the training with them. Deployed to Helmand, Afghanistan. I was in Sangin for about maybe 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, and then after that, I got moved to a place called Kajaki, Afghanistan, and that was a good old fun place.
Did you do like your typical 6-month deployments?
No, that was, I think total time from stateside back to stateside was like 8.5 months.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. Yeah, I'm thinking about 8. And then out there in Kajaki, then came back to the States. We started training again, of course, because that's what you do in the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
You come back from deployment, you just get ready for the next one. And then that second deployment, they sent us to Kuwait for Operation in OIR, Operation Inherent Resolve, and went to Kuwait. I was sergeant of the guard out there at one of the air bases, and then came back home, and I was like, I'm bouncing, guys.
You just skated the whole time through Kuwait?
Well, it was surprisingly enough for Kuwait. I was a Pogue corporal at the time, and they said, you're the sergeant of the guard for the air base. And I was like, all right, well, that's kind of how my scope of work. They're like, oh, you can do it. I was like, I know I can do it. I'm hot shit. This ain't no problem.
High speed, low drag. I got this.
Yeah. Hey, let's go. But yeah, not the worst deployment by any means. It was very, very relaxed. Unlike the first one, it was a set schedule. I was like, well, yeah, I guess it could be more fun, but at least there's hot chow, right?
Yeah, that's where I went. I went to Kuwait in 2003.
Oh yeah, but getting ready for the invasion.
Yeah, right before they breached the berm and shit. I was like, I tried volunteering, and because they needed a welder, and they took one of my NCOs. They took Sergeant Rogers out there instead. And man, he came back with a freaking beard, just like nasty coveralls. Like he was like in the shit, man. But they took a D9 dozer. They call it the Ray Charles, and pushed through the berm. You ever seen a D9?
So I think I have. My experience with heavy equipment, they sent me out to go get certified to be a tram driver one time with a CLB7. I went out there for like a week or two to get my license for that, and I think that's whenever I saw one of those. It's
freaking massive. So that's what they use to breach the berm. Like we got to sit in it, and they call it the Ray Charles because you can't see out of it. I mean, they've got like these little 2-inch by 8-inch slits, that are bulletproof glass, 3 inches thick, and there's one in front of you, one on the left, and one on the right, and that's all you have to see anything. So they just point you in whatever direction you're going, and you just drive.
Yeah, I think a guy got ran over on Camp Leatherneck by one of those
because
the driver couldn't see where he was going.
Insanely large. It's like a 3-story building driving down the road. They actually lined up a bunch of decommissioned Humvees because they had to flatten them out to throw them on a lowboy. And they literally lined up like 10 of them and just had the D9 drive over them. And then they came out with a forklift and picked them up and threw them on the back of a trailer and cinched them down and took them away.
That's sick. We ought to get one of those.
It's cool as shit. I got a picture of me like kneeling down in front of it, and it dwarfs me, dude. I look like a little Lego man in front of it.
We ought to get one of those to start a welding rig.
There's a guy that did that.
Engine drives on that. Oh, really?
There's a guy that did that. It's called Killdozer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey, that's an American hero right there.
Yeah, well, he was a welder. He was a welder.
Hey, he wasn't just a welder. That man was a fabricator.
He did not want to pay his homeowners association fees.
No, he did not. Oh, have you seen the T-shirts with the Killdozer on it? I kind of really want one.
I kind of really
want one. Just a tad bit of white trash going on. I'm like, I love it. That's me. Let's go.
I'm gonna have to pull that up now.
Do it.
So what'd you do once you got back from Kuwait? Actually, did you get to go to Doha while you were over there?
To where?
Doha, Camp Doha.
No. So I was at, oh Lord, what was the name? So I always want to say Al Jabber, but I think Al Jabber is the big army base where they have like a Starbucks and Outback Steakhouse there. I was at, or was that Arif John? No, the base I was at was some podunk Kuwaiti Air Force base that the aircraft hangars were still bombed out from America from the Gulf War.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and
no wonder they put you in charge.
Yeah, no,
there's nothing around here worth stealing.
It's a terrible place. Yeah, hey, I got it, guys. Don't worry, I'll take this post. Yeah. But no, it was some crappy Kuwaiti Air Force base where there was nothing there. The Kuwaitis gave us some barracks and said, "Here you go." And that's where the entire, at the time, Special Purpose MAGTF was. So, I mean, it was Marine Corps, Air Force, Army, Italians, a couple other foreign nations were there. But there was nothing nice. It wasn't until like the back end we were leaving that place, they popped in with those green bean coffee places. You're just like, oh, this is nice. We're living big now, boys.
Oh, yeah. They dropped us. I want to say it was Camp Doha on the way back. We had to stay there for like 2 weeks. And you really couldn't do anything but relax. So it was actually pretty cool. I mean, they had a Starbucks on there. They had a community center. So you go in there and play like foosball and they had a game room and all that other stuff. But you're literally just supposed to hang out and decompress for 2 weeks before you go back home.
Gotcha. So that's the way Camp Leatherneck was. Camp Leatherneck was an extremely bougie base in Afghanistan. I mean, not necessarily the American side, but once you went to the British side.
Oh, dude, those guys wilding out.
They had a steakhouse. The Italians had an Italian restaurant there. It's like, this place is nice. Not the American side. No, that place sucks.
You get a Taco Bell or a KFC.
Yeah, that's it. But no, you would go to a nice like white tablecloth, area in the British side. It's like, wow, I see why Prince Harry chills here. This place is very nice. I mean, this is
everywhere the Brits went, man, and they're funny too, man. Like we had to hang out in a bunker with them one day because we were like allegedly getting hit with a scud pretty soon. So they sound off all the sirens, and you got to run to these underground bunkers that they made us dig. Which when we were digging it, we're like, oh, we're digging our own coffin because if we get hit with a freaking scud missile, we're gone anday. So it's a false sense of security. But we're in there with the Brits, and they're bitching because they're missing tea time because they can't figure out how to hook their teacup up to their gas mask.
Yeah. The only real experience I have with the Brits was the Royal Marines, and that was surprisingly enough in 29 Palms. We all ran into them at a bar locally there in 29 Palms, and we ended up just getting to drinking competition after drinking competition with these guys, and it was extremely rough. I never thought in my life like, no one can out drink the United States Marine Corps, and then here we are standing at these Brits. Sorry, I'm not going to call them Brits. The Royal Marines.
British Royal Marines. You get that right.
And we're just like, okay, these guys are up there. I was like, these guys can actually drink. I think we called it a draw, though, so we can put that down in official history. We called it a draw.
There you go. Yeah, no, they're pretty cool. We got to. I was actually fapped out for a lifeguard, or to be a lifeguard for what was the Marine Corps Community Service on Camp Lejeune. And
okay.
We ran into them because they had these little beach huts or whatever. So we were having a party one night, and we ran into him, and we ended up doing copious amounts of drinking with him. But there was nothing but like mad mutual respect. They're like, man, you guys are awesome. And we're like, no, you guys are awesome, because like everybody hears the different stories from boot camp. Like, oh, we heard you guys had to, like, you get a puppy issued to you, the first day of boot camp. And then, by the time you graduate, you gotta kill the puppy. And they're like, oh no, that's bullshit. But we heard you guys do this. And, like going back and forth, like, who's more badass?
No, it was the exact same thing. There for us as well. We're just like, man, who do y'all think could win in a fist fight? You all or us? Because we think y'all could beat our ass. Because all of y'all look like Abercrombie and Fitch models in uniform. And they're just like, no, man, we were thinking you all could beat our ass. Because they're like, oh, okay, very well then. Let's drink some more about it. It's like, right. And then they break out the random English phrase like, I'm pissed up a tree off some tits. And I'm just like, I don't even know what that means, dog, but I love it.
Yeah. It means they're wasted.
Yeah, absolutely. That means they're pissed off some tits up a tree. Like, oh, you're really
I got a buddy from New Zealand. He's like, oh, he's on the piss again. And I was like, what? He's on the piss. Well, he's drunk. Oh, okay. Yeah. Why didn't you just say that?
Yeah. What's wrong with you people?
Why would you guys want to drink piss? So what'd you end up doing once you got back?
So after I got back from that Kuwait deployment, I bounced out of the Marine Corps because quite frankly, I didn't want another deployment like that again. That was just extremely boring and sitting there. And that was like started the gear down to Afghanistan out and all that stuff. So I was like, I can do wartime Marine Corps. Peacetime Marine Corps is not necessarily my cup of tea here. So I bounced out, moved back to Tennessee. While I was there, became a gun dealer of sorts.
Licensed.
Legally.
There we go.
Legally there. Yeah.
Throw that disclaimer out there.
Yeah. Sold firearms, all that good stuff. Did that for a couple of years. And then I decided, I was like, man, you know what? I'm going to look into a different career path here because I am just too badass selling all these guns. Like my job is too damn cool. I was like, but you know what else would be cool? And also make some bank. I was like, welding. In high school, messed around with it a little bit. I was like, that's fun. I enjoyed that. And so I found a welding school and moved out to California, graduated welding school out there. Then I became a welder in California for a couple of years out there.
What type of work were you doing?
So that was mainly structural. All you pipe welders out there, eat it. Yeah. There's money to be made in structural. I don't care who you are.
There's a lot of money to be made in structural.
There's a lot of money to be made out there. And I will tell you this much. You may have a guy who makes his six figures a year. Now, I did not make six figures a year in California because, I could have been. I don't know. The taxes out there were killing me in the first place. So, but no, so it was structural steel mainly for the most part. And the company I worked for, the bread and butter of the company was making gas station canopies.
Okay.
That was, one, you have to actually be a good welder to make those because in California, everything's seismic rated.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of full pin welds.
You gotta not only have like an AWS certification, but you gotta have a state welding certification too, right?
So for field work, so for a union, you need the LA City cert.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have the LA City cert in California, you are big pimping out there because from what I've heard and looking at the book, that's probably one of the harder welding tests you have to pass because it's not just a welding test.
Yeah, there's a written portion as well.
There's a code part of it that has to go along with it. So guys that have their LA City cert, they're making bank right out of the gate. If you have your LA City and you're not making money in California, I don't know what you're doing with your life out there, dog, because you ain't doing it right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But so for the shop, we didn't need our LA City for that one. And for a lot of field installs, we necessarily didn't need it as well. I don't know how businesses work in California setting up. I never asked any questions about it. So there's that one. But outside of the LA County, no problems doing work and stuff. But a lot of job sites in California do require an LA City if you're doing most of the work. Now, if it's a fab shop, our shop was LA City certified fab shop. So we fell underneath that with our welds and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so we would knock out gas station canopies left and right. They come in, do the welding of the columns, fabricate the I-beams out, do the layouts, add stiffeners and all that stuff. And those would go out. But the fun part of that job was all the smaller contracts that would come in. That'd be random jobs, like, okay, we're doing this structure for a residential building. We're doing this for this company. We're doing that for this company. We're doing staircases, fire escapes, so there was a really good opportunity there to learn more than what you already knew, because there was stick welding, flux core, MIG, TIG welding, different jobs and stuff like that. And just so on and so forth. And then I also did a lot of field installs, just take the rig out and do a field install. Or I would, hey, everybody listening, if you don't know how to drive a stick shift, make sure you know how to drive a manual, okay? Because your world opens up surprisingly if you know how to drive a manual, all right? Because that's how I got to learn how to operate a knuckle truck, because we had a big old E750 flatbed knuckle truck that I'd throw my machine on and whatever part I was installing, go out to the field, and install it, because, well, Travis knew how to drive a manual and he could also weld. So there's that. But now if you're driving a knuckle truck through LA traffic in rush hour, it sucks. It's
1 mile an hour.
Yeah, you're making good overtime though. After 5 o'clock, you're just like, man, it's going to take me 3 hours to get back to my shop to park this bad boy. That's literally only 50 miles away. This is great. I love this.
Jeez. Yeah, I heard LA traffic something else.
It doesn't make sense. People talk about rush hour traffic in LA, but you can be there at 10:30 a.m. or 10:30 p.m. and it's the exact same.
You're not rushing anywhere.
It doesn't quit. It's just like, what are these people doing? Like, why are you on the road at this time? It doesn't make any sense. So no idea with that one.
Yeah, I've lucked out. I've never had to drive through LA traffic.
Hey, if you ever want to go out there, I'll take you through there.
All right.
It's a good time.
But working in a fab shop, I mean, that opens up a lot of doors, and you learn a lot really fast, because, I mean, you're going through critical thinking, troubleshooting, especially on installs, because your field dimensions never match up with your shop dimensions. And
never.
You get it all built, and it's just right according to the print. You take it out of the field, and it's 2 inches too high, 2 inches too long,
or you have to
too short.
Yeah, you have to go rim out a hole on a base plate, and the base plate's 3 inches thick, and you have to rim it out to like a quarter of an inch, to a different direction. You're just like, well, who was reading these prints, guys?
You got like a number 2 tip on this.
Oh yeah, no, it's because you learn how to improvise.
Oh yeah,
it's just like, how do I make this work? Because I'm not going to be that guy that has to leave the job site to drive the 2 hours back to the shop to pick up some specialty tool. So you're just like, I'm going to make this work one way or the other. I don't care if I get the hand file out and just start filing away myself at it. But
that's one thing good that the Marine Corps teaches you: improvise, adapt, and overcome. Just trying to figure out,
absolutely.
Like, still got to complete the mission. Let's just figure out, there's got to be something on this truck that's going to allow us to do what we need to do.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And you'd be surprised what you find on random structural job sites. You're just like, who did these welds? And you find out the other contractor on the job site said, oh, I just had my guy come out here and weld them up. And now you're freaking out because you know that the CWI is about to come on the job site. You're just like, all these welds have to be grind out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow. I was like, who welded it? They're like, oh, our painter. You let your painter
come here. I'm going to show him how to use a grinder.
You let your painter do some AWSD 1.1 welds. Like, yeah, I thought it'd be a good way for him to learn. And like, our welder didn't show up. So what's the big deal, guy? I was like, oh my God, you don't know what could happen if that CWI gets here and these are like this. So you're like, no, I was like, trust me, I'll tell you, it's not going to be fun for anybody involved.
No. It's going to be a lot of back charging.
Yeah. But that's also kind of fun too. You just get random stuff thrown at you. Like, what is this? This isn't right at all. Or do you see the amount of porosity in that weld? Yeah. What's wrong with it? Like, are you serious?
Mm-hmm. I've seen them roll on a job site to just start throwing people off. Like I've seen entire companies ran off of job sites because the inspectors rolled up and they're like looking at this one guy. He's doing stainless to carbon on pipe. And they're like, hey, you certified for this? And the guy's like, yeah. And he's like, okay. And he's got his little clipboard and he's like, what's your name? And he gives him the name or whatever. And he asks the guy next to him, he's like, you certified? Yeah. And what's your name? And it's the same name. So it's like, oh, okay. So they've got, basically they were working off one guy's cert and had 6 or 7 people out there doing the welding.
Oh my.
And they got caught and they got gone.
So I haven't seen that one before. What happens on the AWS side of things?
I don't think the AWS has, I don't think they do anything with it. It's going to be up to the contractor. The CWI has the right to basically tell them, you guys can't do any of the welding out here. And then the contractor has to, find another group of subs. And then at that point, when the inspector's there, he's like, okay, you guys tried to pull one over on me last time. I want to see everybody's cert that's welding on this job. So, I mean, we were doing welds at, some of the theme parks where the CWI, he'd come over there and verify who you were, make sure you're on the list to be able to do these welds. And then he would literally flip his hood down and say, okay, go. And watch you run the route pass. And then they'd inspect it and he'd be like, all right, go ahead, fill it. And he'd sit there and hang out with you.
I thought just having a CWI with a temperature laser gun was bad enough. But no, if he's actually going to throw the hood down, be like, good.
Oh, yeah. Good. They witnessed every single route that went in.
That's a nightmare right there.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's for roller coasters and stuff like that. So, I mean, they're really critical on that.
I'm not saying it's a nightmare, from the standpoint of safety. Absolutely. I love that. Keep that stuff up.
But it's nerve wracking as the welder.
As the welder, it's bad enough knowing you have a test, that you're in the middle of a test and there's no one in the booth with you. But if I had some dude just
bird dogging you.
Yeah. Just whispering in my ear. Why? It was like, dog, I can't do this. Like
a little bit more to the left, Travis, a little bit more to the left.
Like I can have my headphones in talking to my homies and pass a weld test all day, just BSing with them. But if there's a CWI there, I'm just like, I can't do it. I'm going to break, dog. I'm going to break.
Yeah. We had these specific welds with ceramic backing, and they had to be, it was a 6-inch long weld, but they'd give you 18-inch long, 5/32 70/18 to do it. So they were specially made for this job. I guess 18 inches isn't a really common electrode size for 532. So, but they actually got them made. And that's what we had on the job site to run all this stuff. And you had to run the route pass. They had to visually inspect that, check it. They were doing all the interpass temperatures and everything using the temp sticks, the crayons, and just making sure every weld that went in, I mean, it was visual. And then once it was all done, they'd come out and do X-ray and UT and all kinds of shit on it.
I'll tell you what, those ceramic backing strips, I would never go. No, dude, I loved them.
They?
Oh, especially
they're not bad for stick welding, but for some reason on flux core.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, absolutely. Because whenever I would go to a job site, I come out there and there's really bad fit up, but needs to be a full pin weld, or there's some ratchet, jaggedy ass cuts that someone do with the torch, and you're just like, oh my god, how can I fix this? Break out that old trusty backing strip, dog, and just it was money in the bank.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick commercial break. This segment of the Arc Junkies podcast is brought to you by Strong Hand Tools. Right now, Strong Hand Tools and Build Pro have an awesome deal for listeners of the Arc Junkies podcast. They have 9 new promo deals going on for toolkits and welding tables. They're all 10% off with free shipping. It's a great time to clean out and update your workshop this spring with Strong Hand Tools. Head on over to stronghandtools.com/promo to see what kind of deals they got for you. We're also brought to you by Everlast Welders. Head on over to everlastwelders.com and get started on your side hustle or get a machine to get in that extra hood time at the house. Everlast has a machine for every skill level and budget. Whether it's stick, MIG, TIG, multi-process, or even plasma cutting, they've got you covered. And don't forget to use code word ARCJunkies in the comment section at checkout to get that free Nova foot pedal and TIG torch upgrade when you buy any machine that comes with a stock foot pedal. Now let's get back into the show. Yeah, we used to make our own chill rings. Well, I mean, while we're at the shop and we had to do splices, or if we knew we were doing a splice in the field or something, we'd make up chill rings there in the shop. Just take some 1/8-inch flat bar and run it through the little slip roller and make them all, get them all set up and everything. Throw them in the gang box, take them out there with you.
That was one of the worst things. Because we would do for the columns for the gas station canopies, it would be a large diameter pipe, beveled, and then we would be adding 600-pound base plate to it, and it'd be a full pin weld, and making those 1/8-inch, rings that was the most time consuming thing that we could never get right, because, well, we always would get it right, but eventually you could never get it right the first time around. And, as much as you want to think that a pipe coming out of a steel mill is going to be the exact same every single time. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's ever perfectly round. Nothing's the same. So just doing those backing strips like that was the most time consuming part of probably even the weld. Just running them back through. Okay, we need to make them a little bit bigger. Okay, a little bit bigger now.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just get fed up and you say, just tack it on the inside. We're going to get 37 clamps, right? We're just going to roll it around and we're going to weld that bad boy up and we're getting this thing done.
No, we just do the inside diameter, multiply that by 3.14 for pi, and that'll give you the circumference, well, the linear measurement. And then we would add, I think, 4 inches to that because the roller that we had, it was like 2 inches from center to center. So you'd always, like, no matter what you did, you'd have a 2-inch flat spot on either end just because that's where the roller sat. And we could run that thing through and then line it up on the pipe and then take the cutoff wheel and just zip right through the excess. And, then you cut out a little bit, 1/4 inch more than you need, and you kind of squeeze it up in there and fit it up.
Well, see, that was the main problem for us is just figuring out that last however long it may be to cut it off and then working it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, they can be a pain in the ass. Once we did so many of them, it just became second nature. They're like, oh, yeah, I need one this big. And you're like, done.
Well, we did a lot of them as well, but it would always just, I don't know, maybe it's all in my head about how big of a pain in the ass it was. Like, I don't want to do this. I won't be throwing this root in right now, dog. I'm gonna waste my time with this stupid metal. Come on now.
I'd rather run with a freaking backing strip or a chill ring than open root any day.
Oh Lord, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, yeah. I feel like the only people that would differ would be, your rig welders out in West Texas. They just want to flex on people.
Oh yeah, they want to open root everything.
Yeah. They'll go to a job site like, listen, only thing you have to do today is just a regular T1.1. Well, I'm gonna run it open root. No, you can have a backing strip. I don't care.
What's a backing strip? Yeah.
Yeah. What's that? Like, it's a nice tool to have.
Yeah, I love backing strips.
They're the bee's knees. Cat's meow.
Yeah. So what did you end up doing once you left that company?
Okay, so I left that company. Literally over vehicle registration. I left the state of California over vehicle registration. They wanted to charge me $1,500 to register my vehicle. It may have been my fault that my Tennessee registration was still good for, a hot minute when I moved out there. And it may have lapsed a little bit, but whatever. But my vehicle registration in Tennessee was like $80 a year. And they tried to hit me with that $1,500. I said, no, sir. And my girlfriend's like, what are you going to do? Like, you have to pay. I was like, no, I don't. I can move.
It's cheaper to move than it is to pay your registration.
And she was like, well, do you want to go back to Tennessee? I was like, no. She goes, where do you want to go? I was like, I don't know. I heard good things about Texas. She goes, what? She goes, have you ever been to Texas? I drove through Amarillo once on the 40. She goes, and you want to move there because you drove? Yeah. I take people at their word. All these guys in the Marine Corps said Texas is the best nation on the face of the earth. I was like, well, let's find out. And so she was like, well, how are we going to do this? I was like, well, you tell me what the cheapest flight to Texas is to a major city for Monday. We'll fly out there. And she was like, well, Houston's cheaper than the other major city by like $60. I was like, well, book it. Let's go. So we flew out to Houston, drove around for a week. We found an apartment and stuff like that. And then we flew back to California. I was like, man, I need to get a job, I guess, because money's good. Can't really just move without, some sort of financial thing going on. So another thing I was interested in was diesel mechanics. I was like, you know what? Worst case scenario, it's another good tool to add to the belt. So I signed up for a diesel school out here, and then we moved. So we came out here, went to school. My girlfriend started her new job. And while I was out here, I think I've been out here maybe 4 months. I'm scrolling through Instagram, and then I see Blue Demon is looking for a territory sales manager in Texas. And I was like, man, I've been following these guys for a hot minute. I was like, I'm going to shoot them over the old resume and we'll see what happens here. I was like, I'm sure there's 1,000,005 more qualified people. So next thing you know, I get the job. And then I start picking up Texas and driving all around the beautiful country, selling some Blue Demon wire.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, you're everywhere. I mean, you don't just handle Texas, do you?
So currently for Blue Demon, it's Louisiana, Texas, and California.
What about all the other states in between? You don't like hit up New Mexico on the way over there and Arizona on your way out to California?
I'll take care of anybody who calls me. Or if I'm, passing through them, I'll drop in and say hello to them. But other states has their own salespeople for those areas.
I got you.
I mean, I'll drop in always. I'll say hi. What's going on?
So exactly, what do you do as far as like sales with Blue Demon? Obviously, you're selling stuff, but I mean that can't be where it ends.
Yeah. So one of the big points for Blue Demon was they weren't just looking for a salesman; they were looking for a welder as well. So for this. So I make my clients in the welding supply industry through the, local welding supplies and stuff like that. And then from that point, I will go with my client to their end user and actually demo products themselves. So say, we go to a flux cord client, and they want to trap Blue Demon wire. I'll go with them because unfortunately, sometimes a lead welder at a shop doesn't know how to adjust settings.
You don't say.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like a guy will tell me, well, it's running cold. And I'm just like, well, you fix it. And it's like, no, it's cold. And I'm sitting there going, you're telling me what the problem is.
Fix it.
Yeah. You just adjust your machine. And it's like, no. And I have to go in there and be like, dude, just adjust the amperage some. It's not that hard, but that's what I do, So I go in there, I run products with them, troubleshoot them. I really try to help out when it comes to process welds, for different procedures and stuff like that as well. But yeah, no, that's what they're looking for, a welder that can handle the sales side of things. So, and
I'm assuming that you like that job.
I love it. It's phenomenal. It's the bee's knees.
Yeah,
I get a well to interact with people. I'm a social butterfly.
That's for damn sure, right. Man. You can. I've seen you in your natural environment. You'll have usually when we're out in town or whatever, you have like a crowd of people telling a lot of stories that we really can't share on the podcast. But
hey, don't be giving out my secrets now. I know you can't share them on this podcast. It's a good time though.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely. I've never had a bad time with Travis Caldwell.
Some people do, but then you know what? They hate me for 30 seconds and they say, that guy's all right.
Yeah.
He's all right.
Yeah, that's how I made some of my were talking about you the other day.
Oh, what was he saying?
No, you're a good dude and funny stories and all that. Same thing with, I went up and seen Stephanie and Steven up there in Jersey. I went for her open house and I brought your name up or whatever. And Steven thinks you're a pretty cool dude too. But I mean, Marines just love Marines.
Oh yeah. Devil dog. Go.
Yeah.
No, I love them so much.
They're good people.
They are.
I couldn't live up there. I mean, it seems like a beautiful area, but I don't know, man. Like everybody that I talk to, they're like, oh yeah, this summer we're moving down to Florida, or next year we're moving down to Florida. Like everybody I talk to, yep, we're moving down to Florida. And I'm like, fuck, man, Florida's getting full.
Yeah.
Texas is full too.
Hey, I wasn't going to say it. I wasn't about to be that guy, especially that I moved here from California. Now, for the record, everyone, that was by way of Tennessee. So there's that. But yeah, no, whenever I was up in Jersey, it was wintertime, I think, when I was up there at the beginning of the year, and we swing by Stephanie's school. And I really liked the area. The people were great people. I feel like I wouldn't want to live up there. The taxes seem high. Me being prior, firearms industry, I love firearms. I feel like I couldn't own anything up there as well.
Yeah, I don't think you can. You might be able to get it with a slingshot.
Maybe
if you are properly licensed and permitted to do so.
Hey, you know what? In history, the slingshot has some good kills on it. Though.
What is the damn? I used to watch that movie, or not that movie. It was a TV show. Like, it was all about the different weapons from various U.S. militaries and like how deadly the weapon was. It was on FX. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. I'll think of it here in a minute.
Yeah, that wasn't the one where they like had like Spartans and Navy SEALs fight each other, though, was it?
No, that wasn't it. It was something about, It was just specifically based on weapons, but apparently the Russian Spetsnaz, they carry slingshots and steel ball bearings. And that's like one of their silence weapons. And I don't know how accurate that is, but I mean, that's kind of what they spun it on the show. But I mean, they did some testing on it, and with a slingshot and a freaking steel ball bearing, you can do some damage to a skull.
Oh, well, absolutely you can. Now, the effectiveness of the Spetsnaz in current time, I'm pretty sure they lost Alpha Group out in Ukraine someplace, and they're not coming back home. So if you have any Russian listeners on this podcast, sorry, your special forces kind of sucks.
I think I got maybe 6 of them. I don't know how to get to pull up the stats.
That's fine.
Sorry, guys. I don't think anybody's listening right now. I mean, they're preoccupied.
Yeah, they have slightly more pressing things.
Right.
Well, on an embarrassing note, the Doberman community in Russia, the Doberman owner community in Russia is still very active, and they had their I guess version of AKC competition going on in Russia that went swimmingly. I have a Doberman, so I went down that road of weird dog owner things like, oh, look at that pretty boy. Oh, look at that pretty girl. Oh, look at that pretty Russian Doberman. Oh my God, it's embarrassing to even say this.
You still got yours, right? Because I think when we had first met, you just adopted her.
Yeah, just got her then. She is perched on the couch right now, looking outside because she's looking at me going, my friend's outside. Why don't you let me go play with him? Because I'm making money right now, homie. I'm getting my voice out there, girl. Chill. You like your dog food, don't you? Your heartworm medicine? Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good shit. She's spoiled.
I got to work. All right.
Daddy's making the bacon.
Gotta make that buck. Do you know how much Jason's paying me to be on this podcast? It's ridiculous.
$7.
I didn't even know I was getting that much. I thought it was about tree fitty.
Not tree fitty. But damn, you can't even get a tank of gas with tree fitty now. Loch Ness Monster's even pissed off about that.
Man, I got so lucky yesterday. 409.
Damn.
Yeah, 409. I was like, come on.
Dude, I just put 14 gallons in my car after work today, and it was $72 and some change.
Yeah, I think I'm averaging in the 70s for 18 gallons here in Houston right now.
Jeez.
Yeah. And I drive a lot.
Yeah, you drive all over the God's green earth, and you drive a freaking Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah, I do. Hey, she's reliable.
You got to drive that. I mean, like, that's something that you drive. You don't get into Jeep Wrangler and ride. You don't cruise. You drive that thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's active. You're not playing on your tech area on your Facebook going down I-10.
Yeah, and then on the weekends, I've been mobbing out to random, patches out in the swamp areas and stuff like that in it too. And I still will take it to Flemingsburg, Kentucky, or Quitman, Arkansas. Mm-hmm. No problem. Like, hey, she's still good.
Yeah, you didn't drive it up to Gillette, Wyoming, though.
No, I didn't.
I don't blame you on that one. That'd be a hell of a drive.
So the day I flew to Gillette, 12 hours earlier before I got on the plane, I had just drove down from Knoxville, Tennessee. And that's a 14-hour drive. And I was like, she needs an oil change before I take her out again. So I was like, plane it is.
Yeah. So now how'd you link up with Outlaw Leather? Because you're also one of the sales managers for Outlaw Leather.
So that I am as well. So Outlaw Leather happened. So I was, just doing my cold calls in Houston and stuff, drop around different local welding supplies and stuff like that. And I saw Outlaw Leather pop up on Google Maps. And I was like, I've been following these guys well for a hot minute. So I walked in there, not to really push anything. I just wanted to see their products, up on the wall, the variety of stuff. And ever since then, I started hanging out with the owner Jesus and the account manager Ismail over there, and then we started to see each other at the same events because there's a huge welding competitions that happen all throughout the year here in Texas. Mm-hmm. So Blue Demon would be sponsoring an event with Filler Metal, then Outlaw would come in and give away hoods and stuff like that. So we just started hanging out more and more and more. Then we started our YouTube channel, Outlaw Worldwide, and they wanted me to be the host of it. So of course I came in there and did that with them. And then that relationship just continued to progress and progress and progress. And the client base is the exact same, your welding supplies. And I was already going into it. So it was a relationship that kind of just happened. That happened, I believe, like FabTech of last year, started working for Outlaw as well. So
nice. Yeah, they're good people, man. Jesus, Ismail, they're freaking awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That they are. And with them, traveling all over the place. This year so far, I have been to California, Nevada, Texas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Denver, South Dakota, Nebraska, Wyoming, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New York, New Jersey, District of Columbia, Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. I don't think I'm missing anything so far. Just
damn, you get around.
Yeah.
Did you go to FabTech Mexico?
Minnesota. Been to Minnesota. And then I still have planned Northern California, Oregon, FabTech Atlanta. We did not go to FabTech Mexico this year, or has that happened yet?
Yeah, it already happened. I seen David Madero down there. I didn't go. I seen him via Instagram.
There was a bunch of talk about, a bunch of people in like our group. There's like, yeah, let's do FabTech Mexico. Yeah. And then I was like, I don't speak Spanish.
You don't need to.
Oh, okay, good. All right. And then, that one just kind of fell through there. So I don't really know what happened with that one, but FabTech Mexico next year, you best believe I'll go down there and do that bad boy.
Yeah. You're doing, awesome. I know you're doing FabTech Atlanta this year.
Oh, of course.
That's going to be lit, dude. We got, what is it? Tuesday night. We're doing the meet and greet.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So the night before the first day of FabTech, Jason, you gotta help me with the sponsors here. So it's Blue Demon,
Weld Porn, Arc Junkies, Fronius, Underground Metalworks, Blue Demon, Outlaw Leather, Flame Tech, and Up and Smoke Welding Apparel. Tuesday, November, this might be the old one. Tuesday, November 8th, 7 to 10 at the Hard Rock Cafe, Velvet Underground. That just sounds sexy.
It does, the
Velvet Underground.
I love it.
Yeah, November 8th, Tuesday.
It's going to go. And that one's open to anybody who wants to show up to. You don't need a special invite, by the way.
That is your invite.
Yeah, if you're walking downtown and you see us in there drinking, just come on in. Like, I mean, you'll get some drink tickets and it'll just be a good time. We're just going to, turn up for a few hours there.
Yeah, I had a good, because you guys did the one in Chicago. We had a good time at that one.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It was a blast.
It is a banging of a time right there.
Yeah.
So this year's FabTech will be a good one. I know it will. Since COVID has basically passed now, or people have stopped giving a shit about it. Either one, I don't know which one happened. Texas,
6 in one, half dozen in the other.
Yeah, basically.
It's like Tinkerbell. You got to believe.
Yeah, last year was a little bit smaller up in Chicago than traditionally, but this year in Atlanta, I feel like everyone's going to be there.
Chicago was kind of nice though because it wasn't so overcrowded. I got to see all the booths, a couple of times, and it didn't take all day to go see everything.
Yep, that's true.
That was one benefit. I still didn't get over to Hall B. I got to go through Exhibit A a lot. But yeah, it was a lot easier to kind of move around, and everybody that I wanted to see was there, other than the equipment manufacturers. But
the Hall B had all the heavy equipment in.
Yeah, all the sheet metal forming and rolling and stamping and punching and all that. Yeah, the gantry presses.
That was turrets.
Cool.
That was cool from my welding and fabricating days with heavy steel. I was like, oh, this is so cool. I think I saw a machine out there that could lay out and cut holes in an I-beam in 60 seconds. I'm just like, oh, that's so much nicer than they're using a mag drill.
Drill in the sun, yeah. Dude, we had a guy that they were mag drilling stainless. And so, yes, you can mag drill stainless, but you have to, so you got to ratchet strap a piece of steel to the stainless.
Mm-hmm, yep.
And then you can put the mag drill to it. But he literally, no shit, had a 4-foot cheater pipe on this thing. Just smoking bits. And I'm like, dude, you're supposed to, you're a journeyman iron worker. You're supposed to know this shit. Jeez.
I love the guys who wouldn't use the coolant.
Mm-hmm.
They would just run it dry.
And then wonder why you're smoking bits every 10 seconds.
Hey, homeboy Philip Franco, if you're listening to this, I know you're just like, Travis did that at the job site all the time.
Oh, you're him. You were the guy.
Hey, I was that guy because guess what? If it was a new bit, you would cut so much faster without using the coolant. It would just shred right through it.
One time, though.
Yeah, just once. But hey, that's all I need.
Right.
Just one and done, Travis over here. That's all I need.
There you go. And the bits are only what, $40 a piece. So 200 holes to do. What's $40?
Hey, it's not my money.
Well, shit. You want to tell everybody about the giveaway?
Yes. So.
Well, not just the giveaway, the fundraiser.
Yeah. It is a fundraiser. I'm actually sticking very clear. So this weekend prior to the launch of this, hopefully everyone will start seeing on Instagram and social media from our sponsors of this event who have so graciously given some prizes. I don't want to call it a giveaway per se. This is a true raffle. To enter to win, it will cost you money, but the money is going to, in my opinion, a very good cause here. It's not raising followers. It's not 100,000, follower giveaway type deal. We're not asking anyone to tag a friend and have them follow. We're not looking for anything like that. So this raffle we're calling it Arcs for Awareness. So June being PTSD month, I thought it'd be a good idea to actually, give back to this community that suffers from all this. So it took me a second to find, an organization that I deemed worthy, because you hear so many times of other organizations, pressing through stuff, and then next thing you know, their CEO is making $10 million a year, and vets are going without treatment and stuff like that. So I reached out to PTSD Foundation of America, and more specifically Camp Hope. They're based out of here in Texas, and what they do is they'll house veterans dealing with PTSD and they're struggling with it, and they'll rehabilitate them and give them meaningful work. They'll counsel them, they'll help them and their families out. So I was like, you know what, that one sounds like a good cause. It's not just something simple of some foundation saying, oh, you're going through a hard time, here's $500. Like these guys are actively involved on the day-to-day life with the veteran and stuff like that. So what we're doing is Blue Demon, Outlaw Leather, our homie Steve, and Flame Tech, we are making a prize package. So it will consist of a Flame Tech cutting torch kit, so a torch, set of regulators. Outlaw Leather is giving away a hood with an arm pad, so it'll be a hood and matching arm pad. Blue Demon will be giving away, that will accompany the hood, one of our drop-in ADFs, our variable 5 to 13s. Also a pair of our new Game Changers. Weld Porn is also giving away some gloves and I think sleeves to go along with it. I have to holler at them again just to make sure. And then our homeboy Steve is making a sick slicing knife.
Yeah, so that's kind of one of the things. So like a while back, Steve reached out to me on Instagram. He's like, hey man, I want to make a knife and do it for like a fundraiser, as like a giveaway for a fundraiser. And we've been kicking the idea back and forth, just trying to figure out the best time to do it. And then June was fast approaching. And then you had reached out to me prior, actually, I think it was the day that I was driving up to the Kentucky Welding Institute event. And you said, hey man, I want to do like a giveaway for, June, or for not a giveaway, but a fundraiser for the month of June, because it's PTSD Awareness Month. And I said, let me reach out to Steve. So Steven Grillo on Instagram built a Damascus slicer. So that's kind of one of the things he does. He is a Army veteran. He was also a radio operator in the Army. So you guys will get along great. But he mentioned, hey, like this is very therapeutic for me. This is something that helps me deal with some issues, is blacksmithing, and I want to give back to the community. I want to give back to the veterans. And Travis, you're a Marine Corps vet as well. So I mean that's something that's very near and dear to my heart. I mean, they say, I think the number's still 22 a day, veteran suicides, and that's 22 too many. So we were looking around trying to find a good spot, and you had mentioned Camp Hope, and we started doing some research on all the outreach and stuff that they do. I mean, they hold daily classes to combat stress, anxiety, depression. They have alcohol, they have AA meetings that they go through. I mean, there's just all kinds of different things. It's like a bundled service that they do for these veterans, all these men and women that return back, to the United States from service, and they've got nowhere to go. They don't know how to deal with this shit. And, so that's kind of where Camp Hope comes into play, and they help these veterans recover.
Oh yeah. And you're talking about the 22 a day. I believe that 22 a day number holds firm across the board, but according to a VA study in 2015 here, I'm just reading a little fact sheet from the VA. It comes in 2015, it was 20.6 veterans a day commit suicide, but I'm pretty sure that number has grown since then. This one is ridiculous. So 58,272 combat-related deaths from the Vietnam War. Consensus of studies now indicate that approximately 250,000 Vietnam veterans have been lost to suicide since the end of the war.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, literally anything that anyone wants to donate to this cause is going to a good point here. So for Camp Hope, they gave you the numbers here for their daily. So it cost Camp Hope for one day to house one of these veterans here. Where is it at? $142.53 a day. That's for one veteran per day. So listen, if this raffle, gets us to at least $142.56, well, we did something for one guy for one day. But I have a feeling with the outreach to all the platforms and all the sponsors of this raffle, our reach, I'm sure we can blow that away 100-fold at least.
Yeah.
So after talking to Camp Hope, we now have a link that will be posted all throughout social media. I'm sure it'll be somewhere on your podcast. It'll make it real easy for someone to click on.
Yeah, I'll put it right in the show notes of this episode.
Mm-hmm. And so they can go to it. Once you go there, I believe the prompt is like $25, $50, $100. You can pick from it. There's if someone wants to donate $1, it enters you into the raffle. If you want to donate $100 100 times, or if you want to donate $1 100 times, feel free to do it. So we're going to close this bad boy out at the end of the month, and we're going to all the names that get entered, all the email addresses, we're going to put into a generator, pull a name out of it, and that winner will receive the hood, the arm pad, the torch regulators, the knife, the gloves, the drop-in ADFs, the other gloves from Weld-Porn. So, I mean, the custom knife these days start out at $300. So,
and it's a badass blade, and it's Damascus, and he's working on the handle and everything. I believe he's making a leather sheath to go with it. So it's going to be decked out. It's going to be a nice functioning showpiece.
Absolutely. So, I mean, this prize package is going to be well over $1,000, and people are given to an extremely good cause here. So, I mean, we're going to be pushing it hard through the entire month. Hopefully, our friends in the community too will repost it for us, stuff like that. But I think we'll do a good job one way or the other on it.
Oh, 100%. So I think we run it all the way up until June 30th, and then we'll close it out, and then we'll announce the winner probably on the 1st.
I love it. Sounds great with me there.
Yeah, so all you have to do to enter is just click on the link in the show notes or any of the links across social media. It'll take you to Camp Hope. You can make your donation there. Once you've made your donation, once we get towards the end of this fundraiser, Camp Hope's going to give us a generated list of everybody that donated, and we'll put your name into a random generator, and we'll pick one lucky winner to do this. And Travis, I kind of want to make this an annual thing and kind of bring more awareness to, veteran suicide, PTSD, because, I mean, there's not a lot of help and support, sir. I mean, it's getting better. It's getting better now. I know it is. As far as like, even when I go to the VA to get seen, there's a much faster turnaround of things.
Oh,
happening.
absolutely.
So
Yeah,
it's getting much better, but I mean, it's still not where it needs to be. And organizations like Camp Hope, they run 100% on donations, and it's not like other, I guess what you would call, 501c3s, like 100% of what you donate is going to Camp Hope.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, 10% to the CEO and 90% to Camp Hope. It's not, anything like that. There's a lot of different organizations out there that use veterans as a marketing tool to get a bunch of donations, and that not 100% of that money that's brought in actually goes to serving the veteran community.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the reason why I picked these guys, because from everything I read on them and talked to them about, they don't mess around. It's
there's a lot of boxes that we had to check before we even got access to even teaming up with them and marketing it for them.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if a place just says, yes, absolutely, you don't need to talk to us about anything, just run it, like, yeah, it's kind of sketchy, but these guys know.
Yeah, it's pretty legit. But yeah, I think any organization out there that's, trying to do better for the veteran community and prevent suicide, help people with PTSD. I mean, it's something that, it tears families apart.
Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, it's not a pretty situation. So anything we can do to help out the veteran community, like I said, it's a soft spot in my heart. I know a lot of people that have gone through depression and anxiety due to PTSD. So anything that I can do to help out, spread the word, run a fundraiser. Like I said, I want to make this an annual event and try to push this every June.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure as the years go by, there'll be a lot more sponsors that want to chip away and add stuff to this. And then we can start, doing multiple prizes, multiple, drawings going on at the same time for the same supporters who donate to the cause that we're doing here. So I'd imagine just as the years go on, it get larger and larger and grow and grow.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think it's going to do a lot of good. It's going to help out a lot of people, and then running it for the entire month. I mean, that gives people, ample time to donate. And I'll keep dropping, information on each of the podcasts that I put out, making people aware of it. We'll put it out on social media. I'll also put the link in my bio on Instagram, so people can find it that way. Like I said, it'll be listed on the show notes from here on out, all the way up and through, the end of June. So people can just click on it, go right there and donate. It's nothing. It's not done through any of that GoFundMe. It's not don't PayPal or Venmo me any money. It's right through Camp Hope.
Do not send us any money. We don't want to touch it. We don't want anything to do with it. Every dollar that is donated will be going through the Camp Hope portal.
Now there is one link when as you're going through that donation process to basically, obviously there's a surcharge for donating and collecting money and stuff like that. You can opt in to pay that service charge as well, so they can add that to your bill, or you can pass off that fee to Camp Hope. I would encourage people just go ahead, bite the bullet, pay the extra $1 or $2. It's relatively cheap. I donated right before we got on the show. It's relatively cheap.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's right there. You select your denomination, and then right below that it says, do you want Camp Hope to pay for the surcharge, or would you like the surcharge? I believe the language in it is just rounded into your donation amount. So yeah,
it's just a one-time fee.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic, man. I think it's going to do a lot of good, and I'm looking forward to working with Camp Hope.
I think so too. I think it'll be some good stuff.
Definitely.
I really do. And I got to give them props too. They're speedy with their response. First time I sent an email a couple of weeks ago, I got a call back from one of the people who worked there. I was like, that was really fast. I wasn't expecting that. They're just like, we love working with people. What do you, like, this is what you need to do. Now come on with it. I was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything we can do to help out, man. I think it's awesome. And I think, it's really cool that Steve reached out to me and was like, hey, I want to do something. Can I help? Can you use your platform to help elevate this and do a fundraiser for, veterans?
Oh yeah.
And I was like, hell yeah, dude. No question asked whatsoever.
And after I see this stuff that he makes, I may have to contract him out to make one for myself.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. I mean, he loves doing the stuff. I mean, he's constantly showing me stuff, text message and Instagram, stuff that he's working on. And now he's getting into handle making and all that. So he's got some really cool pieces.
Hell yeah. That's gonna be sick. It's going to be sick.
Yeah. Well, Travis, before we get out of here, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you, where they can find your products, and if they got to reach out and want to order some Blue Demon stuff, or they just want to reach out and chit chat with you.
Absolutely. So if you're looking for the world's best filler metals, the first place I would recommend going is contacting your local welding supply. There isn't a welding supply, to my knowledge, in this country that does not carry or does not have access to our products. So just go in there and be like, hey, I want this Blue Demon welding product, and they will get it to you one way or the other. Also, off the Outlaw Leather website, you can buy the majority of Blue Demon's welding products. Then for Outlaw Leather welding hoods, same thing. If there's a welding supply that's not carrying them, let them know you want Outlaw Leather. We can get them set up in no time. But you can also visit Outlaw Leather's website to order your hood directly from them. So, I mean, if you're in the market for one of the best, leather welding hoods, you want a custom one, you want ironworker equipment, bam, outlawleather.com is the place to go. You can also use Outlaw Leather USA for them as well. And then if you are a welding supply and you're wanting Blue Demon representation in your store, you can hit me up on Instagram. I am at TMF Caldwell. Send me a DM for either of the brands. I can get it taken care of for you, no problem.
Fantastic, man. Well, it's been an honor having on your show and catching up with you. Can't wait to hang out with you once again in Texas, down there at the Woodlands, August 24th through the 26th. I think it should be a good time.
It will be a good time. I think everyone will be there again. We're getting the band back together.
Hell yes. All right, brother. Well, take care. Stay safe.
Hey, you as well.
All right. right, everyone, before I close this out, I want to give you all a quick update. I received a call yesterday from Steve, who is in the process of making the knife as part of the raffle. He's currently dealing with a family emergency, and at this time, he may not be able to finish the blade for the raffle. If he's not able to get the blade done in time, I'll come up with a substitute if that's the case. You know, I told him, I said, hey, you know, family comes first, you know, take care of your family, make sure all that's well and good, you know, put this on the back burner. So if that's the case, we'll come up with a substitute. I'll keep everybody posted on that end. In addition, I've posted the link to donate to Camp Hope in the show notes, and the link is also available in my link tree on my bio on Instagram and TikTok. I encourage you all to donate if you're able. This is a great organization doing awesome things to help out our military veterans. Hope you all enjoyed this week's episode. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for an all-new episode of Just the Tip Tuesday, where I discuss WPSs and why we need them. Stay safe out there, and until next time, make every weld better than your last.